Hey Scorpio, very nice to see you. Happy New Year to you. I hope that your month is kicking off. Wow. I was gonna say, hope your month is kicking off nicely, and then my cat started going completely insane underneath my desk. So, pardon the earthquake. Let's hope that's a really nice. Wow. It's a good omen. Sorry, she got catnip for Christmas, so she's like going knucking futz. You're probably gonna see her like go rocketing that way and then back and forth, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Sorry, Scorpio. I promise we're here. We're to the point. Okay. Let's see what's ahead for you this month. Scorpio. Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. What do they need to know, Spirit, for their highest good? Always and only for their highest good. What are the situations, characters, influences available to them, whether potentials to lean into or pitfalls to sidestep? What is it that Scorpio needs to know for their highest good this month? Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. Okay. So Spirit's got some extra stories to tell you. I never count the cards when I'm like pulling out the number that I need. I always just keep pulling until Spirit is basically, there she went. I just keep pulling until basically Spirit is like, okay, we're done. So you've got some clarifying cards in here. They've got some additional tales to tell you this month. So where does our story begin, Spirit? For Scorpio. Nice. That's a nice place to start. Okay then. All right. All right. We're going to figure it out. Okay. Okay, Scorpio. So, when I said that you're starting out at a really lovely place, the Ten of Pentacles is at the center of your reading. This is a card of family. This is a card of security. This is, you are financially safe. You are feeling, maybe even for some of you too much, like the influence of family and the influence of kind of like the structure, because I get the sense that some of you feel a little bit alienated, and there's a little bit of like conflict going on here. There's a little bit of just minor disagreements, and I'm getting the sense that you feel just kind of like, can everybody just shut up? Like I kind of want to like cover my ears and just be like, really? Like, so it just feels like there's a lot of voices around you. I mean, I wasn't even looking at this card when I did that, but yeah. So here's you feeling misunderstood, feeling maybe unheard or unseen, or just like a little bit alone. And it's strange because you have these cards for like happy family, happy home, but underneath you have 3 5s in important places in your reading. What do I mean by that? You don't put 5 legs on a table. You either take one away to make it 4 and to make it steady, or you add another one to make it 6 to keep it steady. 5s are like, this is unsteady, this is not sustainable, it's going to be doing this until we figure it out. When I say figure it out, I do feel like that is something a lot of you can do by the end of this month. But here's what I would advise. It is not to necessarily close your eyes and ears to what everybody around you is saying, but it is about seeking your own wise counsel and trusting yourself, okay? The Hermit is showing up as one of the keys to your reading, which is not about just being by yourself or something like that. It's about self-reflection. It's about being willing to go there. What is it that you're mourning, Scorpio? Right at the center of your reading, security and like steadiness crossed by loss and grief and feeling like I spilled my cups, like what was in here that I wanted so badly is gone. But look behind you, Scorpio. New cups. Something new is coming toward you. And I feel for some of you it is somebody new, this King of Swords in your future. There's a sense in which there is something that you kind of have to let go of this month. If you're feeling alienated, if you feel like you're in conflict with these people, if you feel like you have lost something, there is good news coming. And there is a breakthrough coming. You have two aces, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, brilliant new ideas and bold new, like, initiatives. But I can't bypass the fact that you're feeling so 5 right now. Like feeling so out of balance and looking around like, kind of like, is that all there is? It's not all there is. Look at what is around you. Look at the energy that is available to you. Some new passion, new inspiration, the spark of an idea. And I feel like you want to be careful that you don't let maybe this King of Swords blow out that little spark of an idea that could grow into a wildfire if you protect the spark. So you want to protect it from the 100-mile-per-hour doubts or, you know, the King of Swords is a smart guy, but he is binary. Like, he is like, it's yes or it's no. It's black or it's white. And I feel like you being this emotional water cups Scorpio person, this can make you feel really cut off sometimes. This can make you feel like, well, do you even care how I'm feeling? Like, do you care what's going on in my heart right now? Like, okay, I'm going to get really deep for a second, because this is something that Spirit just said to me, and maybe it may only apply to one person that is hearing this reading, but my prayer is always that Spirit's going to come through with whatever's for the highest good of anybody that hears this. And somebody, they're telling me, has lost a child. Someone has had like a miscarriage or something similar, and for those of you that may be in a situation like that, or you're very close to a Scorpio who's going through this, that mourning is essential. And neither I nor anybody should ask you to rush through that. But I want you to know, again, I know this is really deep, but this is what they're telling me. Like, for those of you that have experienced that, they want you to know that that little soul is okay, and that that little soul will be back. So for those of you who are dealing with that level of heartbreak, for one, just let me say I love you and I'm sorry, and God be with you. And for those of you who are like, whoa, that's super deep and that is not me, well, yay for you. But also, I feel that it's really essential for you to nurture this creative brainchild. Like, for those, some of you, this is a different thing entirely, where it's like, you have been in the past pregnant with like this amazing idea, with something you really want to bring forth into the world. This is, the Empress is Venus. She is a receiver. She is the divine mother as well. And there's an idea that you have that is worth beginning. And it does feel like a beginning. You know what I mean? Because it's the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands versus, say, like a little bit of a higher number. Feels like some of you have been waiting on starting something. And for those of you who feel like you're in a situation where you feel alienated from your family or from the people providing you housing, again, I know that's super like strange and specific, but that is what Spirit is saying. I do feel that for those of you going through that, I feel this is a temporary situation. And I don't want that to worry you because it feels good to me that it's a temporary situation. Like, this alienation feeling is not going to stop until you change some of the circumstances. And I feel that you hope and fear for the situation to end. And that's very understandable because, like, let me just take one example of what they're giving me, which is kind of like a dead-end relationship. This does not apply to all of you, okay? So for those of you for whom that does not resonate, remember this is a general reading and I'm going to get a few messages and not all of them will apply to you, okay? Your free will is everything and you can always make whatever choice you feel is best, and that's always what I would tell you to do. You know, I wouldn't tell you to trust my intuition over yours, for example. But the situation feels temporary, whether it's because you end the living situation entirely, because you eventually move on, or because you decide to just leave behind even the person who you were living with. This grief and this alienation will not last forever. This is showing up as there is an end in sight. And so if, you know, Mufasa could part the clouds and poke out, you know, like God, and be like, hey, I promise you, if you get out of this dead-end situation, you're going to feel a lot better. It's going to suck for like 45 days, but then it's going to go off the charts amazing. If God could tell you that, if they could come down and say your full name and your birthday and be like, this is what's going to happen to you and this is the date, so don't worry. Like, go ahead and take care of yourself and hone your ideas and hone yourself and detach a little bit from, and when I say detach, I don't mean you have to like literally leave or you have to tell people I'm detaching from you or whatever. No, I mean like an inward emotional, like, okay, maybe I've been putting a lot into this and maybe I need to just dial it back for a second. You're a passionate sign, Scorpio. You want to give everything. When you love someone or something or are passionate about someone or something, you go all in. Like, there is no in between for you. So I don't want to tell you not to worry about them, but I want to tell you to dial some of that energy back into yourself. Because you're feeling a little lonely and like alone, and you need to be there for you this month. I feel that very strongly. There's a breakthrough on the horizon. There's a new sense of understanding and kind of like Spirit just used the phrase like a light bulb moment coming up for you. A lot of you need to be journaling, because the Hermit is not about being all by yourself, but it is about like giving yourself the room to speak to yourself. For some people that could be prayer. For a lot of you, I feel literally just sitting down and writing to yourself. Like, what am I feeling right now? I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, like da-da-da-da-da. I know that sounds pretty simple, but you're such a deeply feeling human being, Scorpio, that sometimes like you have so much to dive into and sort through that just getting it onto the paper and having like getting some of those thoughts out of your head and putting there, it's like a way of telling yourself like, I won't forget this. I know this is important, but like I'm going to figure this out. Like, I need to figure this out because I'm not in a happy place. Woo! Oh my God, I'm like throwing cards. I'm not in a happy place. Throws cards. Okay. Okay, just kidding. Spinny chair. We're back. Try not to flash you. Okay, sorry. Spirit was like, no, don't tell them this. Like I said, these fives are all like in positions representing the present moment. What's going on within you? What's going on around you? Some fights are not worth having, and this is childish. Some of this fighting is childish, okay? And I don't mean you're childish. I'm not trying to judge whoever you're like having these fights with, but your time is better spent elsewhere. What can I say? Like, nurture yourself, nurture your creativity. You do plenty to nurture others. Maybe just for this month, focus more on you. The Hermit is in the key position. Oops, sorry about the earthquake. The Hermit's in the key position saying, look after yourself. Look into yourself. Scorpio. This isn't going to surprise you at all. You know for a fact that you're one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. You know that if you have a feeling about something, you kind of have to follow your nose. Follow your nose. Trust yourself. Whatever truth you ferret out, it will help you. Okay? Even if the truth is a little bit painful, it will help you. It will set you free. It will help you detach from things and people that are no longer good for you. Maybe they once were. Again, I don't mean that this has to be like a breakup or something. This can be like, I can't do this habit anymore. This can be like, I can't hang out with those friends anymore because we always end up doing the same thing, or whatever. Like, whatever it is that you know that you've been kind of like playing in the sandbox and playing games instead of actually like getting your life going and taking care of business, it's time to kind of leave childish things behind. And P.S., these people you're in conflict with, like, it's childish. I don't see it improving because it feels like it's an ego match. And when people are still that attached to their ego and like, I'm right and being on top and la-da-da, it doesn't make for a great give and take back and forth. Like, so if you have somebody in your life that is very much like an I'm right, you're wrong, you're stupid if you think otherwise, da-da-da, take a little of that energy that you've been putting into them and put it into yourself. Not as a punishment, not like going up to the King of Swords and being like, well, you know what? That attention I've been giving you, I'm giving it to me now. Like, you don't need to do any of that. Like, just love on yourself in January. You need to love on yourself. You need to understand what it is that you want. Because for some of you, it really is just a matter of you've been putting so much into what other people want that you've kind of lost, well, what is it that I really want? Like, if I were going to say where I want to be by the end, December 2019, what do I want my life to look like? I know it's pretty early in the year to say that, but like I said, you're a strongly intuitive person, Scorpio. So the more you start thinking and putting emotion behind that, the faster you're going to get the ball rolling in that direction. Don't worry about leaving the quote-unquote safety of the current position that you were in. You're getting a level up. You might be sacrificing a little bit of comfort, a little bit of cold comfort, honestly, is what Spirit just said. A little bit of cold comfort and a little bit of financial security in order to feel more empowered and to feel more like yourself. But to me, it looks like it's worth it. So it's a super intense reading. Let's look at your Fiercely Focused spread. For those of you Scorpios who haven't been here before, we always do 2 readings. I wrap up we do the story of your month, kind of, and then we do just a quick 5-card spread looking at a theme for your month and then the action steps that Spirit wants to offer you as advice when it comes to money, love. All right, they're already ready to talk for you. Whew, should I say? that thinking about what you want and planning it out and plotting it out would be worth your while, you're clear for takeoff. The Chariot is not just victory, which it is, and is an incredible card for that. Victory, momentum, actually being able to leverage the obstacles that you're dealing with right now to get what you want. But it's also about harnessing your conscious and unconscious desires and pulling them in the same direction. So what do I mean by that? I mean, ask yourself how your quote-unquote bad habits or whatever have maybe even served you. You know, like, did they serve as a form of protection? Did they serve as a way to... Hello. Thanks very much, cat butt. Okay, this is what Spirit just said. At the intersection of what you are amazing at and what breaks your heart. So, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you are an amazing nurturer, which I feel that you are, and what breaks your heart is, let's just say, animal abuse or animal neglect, then at the intersection of what you're good at and what breaks your heart, like, you can help take care of lovely, cute, awesome animals by using your gifts. This is the right time to go for what you want. And if you don't know what you want, it's the right time to be the hermit and figure out and zero in on what you want so that you can have it. We can't have something if we can't see it first. You know what I mean? Very rare is it that Spirit just drops something in our lap and then we were like, oh my God, I wanted this the whole time and I didn't even know it. Very unlikely. It can happen. More likely is that you start having a vision for this thing because you have so much passion and so much potential, but I feel like you're being distracted. And you need to not be distracted about this. This is something really significant for so many of you. So it's like a big project or something that like could go the long haul. Don't be distracted by petty bullshit. Petty fights, petty backbiting, like people talking. It just feels immature. It feels petty. Fives. It's childish. Like, blech. Like childish conflicts that are just distracting you from what really matters. Please go for it, Scorpio. Mysterious Sphinx that you are. Go get what you want. Okay. Let's look at those action steps now. Spirit, how does Scorpio go about getting what they want in January 2019? What do they need to know, first of all, when it comes to money, resources, energy? If you build it, they will come. Scorpio, this looks really nice for your finances. I'm also feeling that for some of you, saving up is really important. Like, save up your money, socking a little bit away. Maybe some of you are hitting a milestone when it comes to your savings this month. I feel, again, what they're telling me about this is it's time to start building something for yourself. So whether this is about money for you, like save up the money like they said, or this is about, okay, if I want to write a 20-chapter book by December 2019, well then that means I have to write, you know, roughly 2 chapters a month, and then I'll be way ahead and I'll have, you know, just room to spare and like stuff to edit, right? That's what I mean about you have to have a vision to actually know what you need to do, okay? So what is your vision? You can actually hit a milestone way sooner than you think. And you may even find that like, wow, I'm actually closer to this goal than I thought I was. Like I've been thinking about this for so long. I've actually got a lot of these chapters or steps or whatever kind of like laid out in my mind already. You're a powerful and transformative sign, Scorpio. Like if you want to change something, there's pretty much nobody in the zodiac that I would count on more to be able to flip a situation around and be able to like leverage and I'm going to use the word manipulate, and I don't mean it in a negative context. I mean like you have a really subtle way of manipulating energies to work for you. Okay. I don't mean manipulation in a bad way. Like the best kind of therapists, right, use like some form of manipulation in helping people come around to like, rather than just telling them, oh, well, you have a fucked up relationship with your mother or whatever, like they ask questions and bring the person around to their own conclusion. That's the kind of like manipulation that they're talking to me about. Okay. So now let's look at your mind. What kind of messages or thoughts, challenges, conflicts? Okay. Don't get much clearer. Lighten your load, Scorpio. And the other thing I'm honestly feeling with this is somebody is shady. I don't know what else to say. I don't really like saying that. It's not... Somebody's being shady. Somebody is trying to take things without permission. If you have, again, like I alluded to earlier, if you have an intuition about something that somebody is taking or doing behind your back, just be careful. Be careful. Take care of you. Ask questions if you need to ask questions. And if somebody skirts the truth, or, you know, one of those classic, you say, hey, who's this person texting you? And you get the classic, like, what? Are you, like, did you look at my blah, 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 like my phone or whatever? Look, I'm not telling you, Scorpio, that it's okay to, like, pick up somebody's phone and, like, put in the password and, like, go through it. But I am saying if your partner or whoever, friend, I don't know, whatever, gets up, goes to the bathroom, and then like a text message flashes up on their phone from somebody that they're like, oh, I don't talk to that person anymore, or that's an ex, and da-da-da-da-da, and you see that and you feel weird, I don't want you to keep that and hold it inside and just be kind of like operating from the shadows. Like, I want you to go ahead and be like, hey, like, so this person flashed up on your phone, like, could you tell me what that's about? And if they're like, oh yeah, it's this, like, I had to send her like a, you know, she left this at my house or whatever, and I was just letting her know that it's on the way or something like that, and they can totally be like, oh, look, I'll even show you, like, if you want. Cool, awesome, like, it's all fine. But if you get that whole, like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're being so dramatic right now, and it's everything except here's what the situation is, I would take that as your answer. That's just what I'm feeling. Okay. Remember, general reading, so if this doesn't resonate with you, I'm very sorry, Scorpios, that this doesn't resonate with, but like, this feels a little heavy, and it feels like this is what, this is like, it's important for these people to know what's going on here, okay? Like, love you much. If it's not resonating, I highly recommend that you check out your moon sign and rising sign videos and seeing what else you can get out of this. But Spirit's just hitting hard for those Scorpios for whom this is going on. Okay. Now let's look at love. Let's look at your element. Let's look at relationships. You're doing some cleaning up in January, Scorpio. Some clearing up and clearing away of old ideas. And you're a fixed sign. You like things to stay the way that they are. You don't much care for surprises. If you set it up one way, then that's how you want it. And, like, fuck that if somebody else wants to give you a different way. And I understand, I do. But staying stubborn and keeping your arms crossed is only going to cut you off from new gifts. So, for those of you that might be feeling stuck or disenchanted or let down, I would ask you to keep your eyes up and to keep them open. And keep your heart, as much as you can, open. There's victory and achievement and recognition and inspiration, all these good things here. But it's important that you recognize what may have grown stagnant and what is not healthy for you to sit from anymore in terms of cups. Like if those 3 cups have been sitting there for years and they're full of nasty green algae water, you don't want to drink those, even if they're what you originally set up for yourself. You feel me? Like, you want to take this new beautiful thing that God, Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is offering you. It's going to look different. It might not be what you were quote unquote hoping for, or the way that you had packaged it in your mind, but it could be better. It could be like way better. It's good news. That's like miracles, okay? Stay open. New. It's new things that are good for you this month. The established things feel a little bit like blech, so open up. Okay. I was gonna say finally what's activating you and lighting you up, but Spirit just like threw the card right out on the table. Change. Knight of Wands. Chase your passion. Go after this idea. Like, go after it with everything. Even if it is like impetuous, even if it is a little impulsive, because the Knight of Wands, you know, has all this awesome like excitement and energy to get started, but like the follow through can be a little bit of a problem. But look, the Knight of Wands plus the Chariot, you really could go all the way. And some of you are moving, like changing residence. I think this is a good thing. I think it's going to take you out of an environment that wasn't healthy for you anymore. And just really more than anything, what it feels like is it wasn't helping you grow. It was like very limiting. So a lot of you by the end of January 2019 are setting yourselves free. And if you've already done this for yourself, then please take that as big kudos and green lights and congratulations from Spirit for having done what you knew you needed to do. Like, that's a really big deal and you should be proud. Don't be afraid to make waves and make new choices. Waves and new choices, they benefit you in January. Okay, sometimes it's stick with what you got and keep going. And this is a case where they're telling you, like, time to make some changes. Time to shake it up a little bit. It's going to be good for you. The Chariot is victory. The Chariot is overcoming, and the Chariot is making it further and faster than you thought possible. Your Chariot awaits. Scorpio, let me know what you think. This was such an intense reading, so if you have questions or like anything you want to say, please let me know in the comments. Really like to hear how this is or isn't resonating with you, whichever. I'm sending you a lot of love and so many blessings, and I really hope that this is helpful for you and illuminating and helps lighten the load a little bit of what you're going through, and see that there is something really beautiful on the other side, okay? Harnessing your energy and pulling in a direction that you actually really consciously want to go in is going to serve you. New choices. New year, new you, Scorpio. Sign of transformation, right? You got this. Much love to you, Scorpio. Many blessings. I hope you will tune into the channel. I'm starting weekly episodes this month. Super excited to share what I know about practical magic and astrology and tarot with you guys. So I hope I see you there. Thanks again, Scorpio, and bye.